everybody, it's Maggie from Personal Euphoria with today's plank story, or it's later at night, so maybe it's a little bedtime story depending on if you go to bed early like I often do. All right, let's get the clock started. So if you've heard lots of plank stories, then over the years you've heard many stories about Matt and I driving together when on vacation. Well, we did this again, so we were in the RV, and there were lots of travel tales of driving, but the one that stands out to me the most is we were going through Badlands National Park, and there were switchbacks, and there were cliffs. Now, in the scheme of cliffs, they weren't the worst cliffs. There were a couple big ones, but for the most part, like, even if you'd gone off the road, you would have survived. It wouldn't have been good, but you weren't going to just go off a cliff and die. Nevertheless, I was driving, and on every switchback, I slowed down to 5 miles an hour and started breathing like this. And at 5 miles an hour, it took a while, so I got like multiple breaths in, and on the first turn, Matt said, you know, I can drive if you want me to. And I said, I'm fine, I'm doing it. We get to the second switchback. And he again, I can drive if you want me to. It's okay. I don't mind driving. And I said, no, I'm doing it. I'm doing fine. And on the third switchback, again with the heavy breathing, and Matt says, listen, like, I don't want you to get upset, but I really don't mind driving. He's like, and the speed limit here, even on the turns, is 45 miles an hour, and there's a line of traffic behind us. It's not really fair. And I said, all right, at the next pullover, I'll pull over and you can drive. I get that. But you have to promise that you will slow down on turns and cliffs. And he said, yes, I promise. And to Matt's credit, he did. He slowed down, not to 5 miles an hour, but to a reasonable speed on cliffs and turns. But it turned out we had a different perspective on what a cliff was. So we'd be approaching an edge and I'd go, there's a cliff, there's a cliff. And Matt would say, it's not a cliff. And I would say, it's very concerning to me. You don't see a cliff here. Somehow we got through this trip and we still love each other. I think we've been through these scenarios multiple times. We both can just anticipate it. In most cases, when the option exists, I've learned I just get out of the car, let him drive along the cliff, and then I walk and meet him if that is an option. This wouldn't have really worked out here, so we didn't get to do that. But, you know, if you freak out or are scared on mountain roads, you're not alone. And I'm lucky that Matt puts up with me in those moments, quite frankly, and remains calm when I'm screaming, because that's important too when you're driving. All right, so that is a 2-minute and 50-second plank. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And of course, and always, drive safely and keep moving.